Okay, so we just reviewed on area and perimeter of like a rectangle or a square. How do we find the perimeter of a rectangle? Max?
You add up all the sides.
Add up all the sides. Pretty simple, right? We just add them all up and we now have our perimeter. So, Kayla, how do we find the area of a square? No. How do we find the area of a square? Haley. Width times length is what we call it, right? And how do we label it? Units squared. Okay, so now we're going to get into two objects that are not rectangular. The first one we're going to talk about is a triangle. And you might want that to be bigger, am I right? So, to find the area of a triangle, we're going to use the following equation. Area equals half of the base times the height. In your work, for this point, it's not going to make you try to find the height. It's going to tell you the height. Eventually, you're going to get a triangle, and it's going to tell you have to find the height, and then do the equation. Again, we're working with area, so how do we label it, Sam? Unit squared. So that's our equation. You should know that equation. Area equals half the base times the height when we're trying to find a triangle.
So you just take the base and cut it in half.
Multiply by the height.
Why did you have to use it?
Well, that didn't seem too difficult to me.
Yeah, why did you have to cut it in half?
Because there's only half of it.
Because it doesn't have four.
It's not four-sided.
It only has 3 sides. So it makes a point, and you have to not have the area.
The area only covers this amount of space in here, right? If we had now we wouldn't have to have half because we would figure out the whole. Oh, which leads to the very next thing we're going to work on, which would be parallelograms. So the first question I have for you is, who can tell me the definition of a parallelogram? If you can, put your hand in the air. If you know what a parallelogram is. 2 of you know what a parallelogram is? 3? Katie B. Oh, we got a couple more hands going up. Katie B, tell me what a parallelogram is.
Isn't it like 2 parallel sides, like squares, pretty much?
A parallelogram has 2 pairs of equal parallel sides. Okay, so the question came up yesterday, what's perpendicular mean and what's parallel mean? Hopefully you know this. If my lines are parallel, do they ever cross?
No.
I see. So I have 2 parallel sides, right? And if I have a parallelogram, I have 2 more parallel sides. They will never cross, and they always have the same distance between. Yes, train tracks are a wonderful example. Okay? So then what's perpendicular? Meaning we're on it? That make a what? They make a certain type of angle, a specific angle.
Somebody said it. Was that you, Connie?
Yay! Oh, perfecto. Right here. These 2 lines are perpendicular.
90
they cross at a 90. All right, so if we want to find the area of a parallelogram, instead of having half the base, now we have the whole base times the height. Again, right now, they're going to tell you the height. Eventually, you're going to have to learn how to measure for the height and find it yourself. But it's really simple at first. We're helping you just do the equation. Area of a parallelogram equals base times height. And how do we label our units? Everyone say it because I've repeated it 3 times now. Squared, right? Biggest and most important thing you're going to come across is if the measurements are in different units, you have to convert to like units and then complete the formula. So you cannot multiply inches times feet. You have to convert the feet to inches and then multiply. Okay? Make sure we label it units squared. All right, here is our samples. All right, so my height equals 10 inches, my base equals 12 inches. Who can tell me what the very first thing I should do would be? Raise your hand if you think you know. I'm trying to find the area of this triangle. My height equals 10 inches, my base equals 12. What's the very first step I should do? Raise your hand if you know. Connie. Divide 12 or multiply 12 by a half. So 12 divided by 2, half of 12 is 6. Now what's the next step? If you know what the next step is, raise your hand. Max?
We times 6 by 10.
6 times 10, we should get 60, and then we label it inches squared. Pretty simple. Think everyone can do it? Yes?
Sure.
All right, so our next sample then is parallelogram with a height of 6 inches and a base of 1 foot 6 inches. If you know what the first step is, raise your hand. Caitlin. Wonderful. So how many inches are there in our base? 18, right? We have to convert our base into inches, only inches, Evan, right? Because we can't multiply by a foot. So now we have 6 inches and 18 inches. Who knows the next step? Put your hand up if you do. I'm waiting for somebody else besides those who have had their hands up all this time. Dustin. Say it loud so everyone can hear. Say it. Dustin.
Yes.
Say it loud.
6 times 18.
You take 6 and multiply it by 18, which gives you 108 inches squared. What's our last step, Cameron? No. If we end with 108 inches squared, what do we have to do? It starts with an S. Caitlin. We have to simplify it, and we have 9 feet squared. Questions? Everyone cool with this?